are once again at the stunning table by Taro, where we are celebrating the Kargil's International Women's Day Festival. Sadly, this is the final day of a 4-part series, The Changemakers, but I am excited to take you through this journey with me today. This is Daily Mirror Online. The gorgeous Savitri with us once again. Hi Savitri, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing good, thank you.
That's fantastic. So diving right into the topic. Today's session is about positive disruptors, and we actually had 2 sessions. So what can you tell us about today's topic?
Okay, the first session was actually to showcase young women who have disrupted the status quo. Because with their various businesses, I think it's about a generation, because I don't think I think the millennials and the Gen Zs are now just looking at the world they have and thinking that we need to change it, and that's what they're doing. So these 3 women have actually changed the way things work, and what is great about it is they echo that whole social and environmental consciousness. With Block and Dino in session 2, they have actually disrupted the way comedy is perceived in Sri Lanka, and they actually use comedy for social messaging, which in a very subtle way, with the laughs and everything, but they bring out that very strong social messaging. And I thought it would be good to find out how they do it, and also the fact that they portray women's roles. How do they see women in this current environment? So that was why we chose them for the second session.
That's fantastic. So today the Changemakers is wrapping up. So how has it been so far? How successful has it been? And how do you feel?
Firstly, elated and very tired because it's been 4 continuous Mondays of thinking of stuff and getting things sorted, and but it's just not been the Mondays. It was a lot of organizing before. But however, I think the festival has just gone really well, because we chose 4 different subjects. We had varied panelists. I have learned a lot, and I'm sure the audience, the participants who were here, also learned a lot. My panelists have been excellent. They've all just been out on top there. And I think the whole concept of the Changemakers worked.
Yes, it has, definitely. And the sessions have been so enlightening. So just teasing on the fact that Changemaker was coming back next year.
That's what we hope. I'm thinking about it, so is Mahika and Tharu. And hopefully we can take this annually and maybe have little bits and pieces along the year just to keep the interest going. But definitely thinking about next year for the same time.
That's amazing. Once again, that is the gorgeous Savitri with me. Thank you so much, Savitri, for having us for all these 4 days.
Thank you for the support. That was very appreciated.
Absolutely. Hi, I have with me the lovely Randula. How are you doing, Randula?
I'm good. I'm very well. Thank you.
That's lovely. Oh, I'm good. Thank you. So tell us a little bit about yourself and the work that you do for Hatch and Good Life X.
Yeah, I was CEO of Hatch since its inception, and I'm now director of its board. And I formed my own company called Good Life X, which was doing a lot of work around sustainable startups. But from this year onwards, we have also expanded our line of work into SMEs as well, businesses, so entrepreneurs, big or small, who are working in the sustainable sector, disrupting natural value chains. So mostly food, agriculture, travel, wellness. These are type of businesses that we are keen to support and really create a merger between, the tech entrepreneurs and really the sustainable entrepreneurs to help Sri Lanka grow better.
That is fantastic. So what can you tell us about the challenges that you have faced in your journey thus far?
I think at Hatch, even before, I've worked with a lot of innovative communities, a lot of innovative people who want to really create change. And the constant challenge that I see and I encounter firstly is the mindset of how willing are people to really embrace change. Everybody's excited to embrace something innovative or to try something new. But when you're really setting out to going and doing it before anybody else has done it, doing something for the first time, that always is a challenge. Not just for the person who's doing it, but for the people around them. Because it's something new, it's something that you've never seen before, there's not much support around it, it's not even, something that you've tried and tested before. There is a lot of potential to fail. Is this okay? Are we okay? Are we going to be okay? So there's a lot of questioning, self-doubt that comes across the board that I've seen. And this, I think, getting out of that is, I think, challenge number one. And then comes the propaganda. When you're a change maker and a disruptor and doing something for the first time, you get a lot of no's. You get a lot of people who say that you can't, or that you're not the one to do it, or you're not capable to be doing it, or that simply it's not done before because it just can't be done, so you shouldn't. And these voices are really loud. So when you're really out there trying to do something for the first time, being a change maker, disruptor, don't buy into the propaganda. Find people who sees the possibility that you see and tie hands together to make it happen.
Absolutely. So going on to talk about changes that you have made or been involved with that concern women inequality or even patriarchy.
So these are not words that I really like to use. Because I don't look at things firstly in a gender lens, and I don't really like to see women in a sense that we are victimized or underempowered. I don't think that's true, but of course there is a construct in the society where women are not capable, or when we are mothers or midway in our career, we are not able to sustain a family, or we are not able to sustain a career, or we are just not heard in the boardroom. But I don't think this is just because you are a woman, but I think it's also because what we again have in our minds. So I think self-empowerment or being out there as a go-getter, regardless whether you're a man or a woman, I think it starts with you. So I don't think we can change the world if we don't change ourselves. So if you want to fight the patriarchy or fight how the narrative is in the society, don't play into it. Just go ahead and change it. And I don't think, since you use the word patriarchy, I don't think this is something that happens from men to women. I've encountered very many instances in life where women were the ones to break me more than men. So this is something that we, us women, as our own, sustain without even knowing it. Or if you're a girl, you shouldn't study so hard. There'll be nobody else to marry you. There won't be anybody to marry you. So these are things that our girls get told quite a bit. And do you really play into that narrative or not is not something that anybody else decides for you, but you for yourself. So I don't think that there is a fight with the outside world, but it is within you. So I think before you really try to change anybody else, you need to change and empower yourself of your individuality and be liberally individual and just go out there and do what you want to do.
That is incredible. Again, I have with me Randula. Thank you so much, Randula.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Hi, I have with me the beautiful Himali. Hi, Himali. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So, tell us a little bit about Ape and about Collab.
So, Ape is the pioneer in creating a pre-loved ecosystem in Sri Lanka, and Collab is a business that's basically surrounded around building brands that people truly believe in.
Alright, so why do you suppose you were invited to today's panel?
Because Ape is a disruptive concept, and it changed the status quo of how people view like pre-loved items in Sri Lanka.
Alright, if you could go into detail about it.
So a whole point of what I think people need to do is really sit and question how they view things. For example, I always explain Ape to people. Anyone who's grown up in Southeast Asia, if you have a brother, a sister, or a cousin, you won't hand-me-downs. So a pre-loved system is exactly the same thing.
Lovely. So what advice would you give to our young viewers watching this?
If you're trying to start a business, always look for a problem in the market and find a solution to address that.
Thank you so much, Himali.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Hi, so I have Block and Dino with me here. Hi, how are you guys doing?
Good, doing good. Good, man.
Lovely. So for the sake of the interview, what can you tell us about yourselves and about your brand?
Well, Block and Dino, I think started a couple of years ago. We started off doing videos for brands, and then now we have this thing where it's called entertainment, where we use entertainment and advertising, and we've coined them together. We entertain people as well as we use a brand message and communicate it to the audience. So yeah, we've been doing it for 2 years, and it's been pretty successful. So.
Okay, and about your personal backstory?
So we both went to two Catholic schools, Union Catholic schools, St. Peter, St. Joseph's. We've known each other for a long time. We've been involved with theatre for a long time before we got into this. We both also been in media. He was actually at Vijay Newspapers. He was head of digital, and I was heading a radio station, TNR Radio. So we've been involved in media for quite some time. And then there was an organic transition where we tried this out for one brand, and it worked. And we've been continuously doing these branded videos or advertainment-oriented content, as Gehan mentioned, over the last 2 years.
So that's fascinating. So you were invited to join today's panel, which is Positive Disruptors. Why?
Maybe because we, the way we portray female characters in our sketches. I think we try to break stereotypes always when we do a sketch of ours. So maybe probably that's why. So yeah.
So in regards to your videos, you take turns in acting as women in your skits. What do you have in mind when you do so?
So basically it's a character portrayal. When we write our characters, we generally have a character arc. It's not about male or female. It's generally what the character intends to do and the objectives the character intends to achieve and the obstacles to it. As with any character, even in theatre. So every story has an arc, it has peaks and valleys, and what we try to do is to be as honest to the character as possible, regardless of whether it's male or female. Yeah. And the reason sometimes we we portray rather female characters is because of the fact that sometimes we have very short production timelines. So coaching someone or directing them to get what we want is a bit of an obstacle given the timelines we have. So we feel it's sometimes best to portray the characters ourselves. But what we try to do is try not to stick with the stereotypes that are kind of the general outline as society perceives it to be for women. And we try to break them or champion them in our storylines. And that way we've been able to actually change the narrative and break a lot of stereotypes and perceptions about how women are portrayed in videos.
So women objectification and negative portrayals of women in Sri Lanka is very, very common, even in advertisements, in funny videos. Why do you suppose this is?
I think it stems down from our schools, our institutions, our universities. We are not taught. I think at the panel as well we mentioned this. We come from all boys schools. I come from an all boys school. So does Dino. I think we are not taught to interact with females, girls our age. We're forbidden from talking to them. It's the same way with the girls, and the people who are responsible for that are the administrators at all these, Colombo and all these schools, where it's such a taboo thing to talk to a girl or talk to a boy, and because of that we forget we forget to respect each other. We forget to respect females, girls, women. We forget that, and the only thing we know after that is to make fun of them. And basically what we see in movies or what we see in porn, and because of that we lose all respect for females. We see females as a piece of meat. So fortunate for us, we were part of interact clubs and theatre and whatnot. So we met girls during school and after school, and because of that we learned there is more to them than what you see in movies or whatnot. So we learn to interact with them, we learn to respect them, and I think because of that we have to start at a very young age. We need to teach every boy out there to respect women from a very, very small age. So that's very important.
So how do you break stereotypes, as you said before, or stop objectifying women, or encourage social messages through your platform?
So basically what we try to do is we always try to have social messaging at least subliminally in our videos. An example is we had a video where we did for a supermarket brand where we said Hayan Pasaganu gedara hitapu kale kale, which means that no longer women restricted to the household after 6 p.m. They're free to do whatever they want. They're free to be independent, to go out. In the same way, we also champion certain female characters. Like, for example, in one of our videos, we had the caretaker who inherits everything in the end, or we have a mother who stands up against her kids who are trying to, like, you know, get her property and get everything from her. So we always try to make sure that we kind of champion the female characters. Also, we talk about how things aren't what they are perceived to be, or what people say they should be. It's actually different, and we should break those societal norms and stereotypes. And we try to do that with every video we do.
That's amazing. And I have one final question that I know our viewers are dying to know. Where do you get the inspiration to do these videos?
I think day-to-day life. I mean, that's our inspiration for all our videos. But I think more the female portrayals, I think the inspiration comes from my mom, my wife, his mom, and those are the people we draw inspiration from. So
you don't ever feel like you're running out of creativity at any one point whatsoever?
So far, so good.
Yeah.
If we do hit a writer's block, we take a break and then kind of figure things out. But so far, we've got a lot of stories we've heard of or we've been inspired by, and as Gehan mentioned, like, there are a lot of strong female role models in our life who continue to inspire us. So I think that is something we gain inspiration from and will continue to gain inspiration from.
That's amazing. So once again, that is the amazing Block in Dino. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us.
Very nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hi, I have with me the lovely Taru from Table by Taru. Hi, Taru, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well, darling. Thank you for asking. Just not Table by Taru, there's Taru Villas also.
Oh, lovely.
Taru Villas, Table by Taru. Okay.
All right. So if you could tell us what was the intended goal for the change makers and what has it been like organizing this event?
To tell you the truth, I haven't organized anything except speak to the sponsors, get the food and beverage in order. Everything else was done by Savitri Rodrigo, Maljini, and our own Mahika. I did nothing. I must tell you that they have done a very, very good job.
Oh, yes, they have. It has been a fantastic show so far. So has the Changemakers been as successful as you've anticipated?
Yes, because we only wanted something like 30 tickets sold every day, but the demand has been such that we've stretched it to 40 and 48, and then it's become 50, but I see there's more than 50 people here today. So I would think that, yes, it has been a success.
That's amazing. So what is next for the Changemakers?
For next year definitely bigger and better. So I think that we are already thinking of maybe taking it to the south rather than keeping it in Colombo, and making possibly a weekend out of it, and taking all these ladies down to the south and show them what Taru Villas is about. Okay.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Taru, for talking to us.
You're very welcome.
And with that, we are wrapping up the Changemakers, which has been a 4-part series held at the Stunning Table by Taru. I am enlightened and I'm inspired, and I hope you were right here with me learning as much as I did. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am Ninuri Asalya, and this is Daily Mirror Online.